There are certain things that your friends are doing religiously every day, thinking that they are helping their health and fitness journey, when in reality, the things that they're doing are actually holding them back. I promise you, if your friend applies the advice I am offering in this video and does the exercises that I'm recommending in this video, their life will never be the same. So let's talk about the 5 fitness mistakes your friend needs to avoid. My name is Kola and you are watching Koboko Fitness. Mistake number 1 is your friend doing all their Zoom meetings and all their classes sitting down in the chair. Whether we like it or not, Zoom is here to stay. Zoom parties are here to stay. Zoom weddings, well, hopefully not here to stay, but they are here and they are a real thing. Doing all of these Zoom activities while sitting down is very comfortable, but it's not the best thing for our waistlines. If you're working a regular 9-to-5 jobs, you could have anywhere from 3 to 4 meetings a day. So sitting down for all these meetings is not really the best idea. I'm going to be sharing with you some specific exercises that are super simple to do during Zoom meetings or Zoom classes, and almost anyone can do these exercises right after I talk about mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 is going on the keto diet because your friend has gained the Corona 15. What is Corona 15? Corona 15 is extra curves, extra fatty tissue. So if your friend gained more than 15 or gained a lot of weight and they're freaking out about it, there is that tendency to want to go on the keto diet because it is so popular. I just want to preface this by saying that the keto diet absolutely works for some people, but it's not for everyone. So I'm really talking to the people that are trying to do the keto diet as an emergency because they're trying to lose weight really fast. Because what always happens in 99% of those cases is that the person either can't stick with the keto diet or they do the keto diet and it works for a short amount of time. They lose some weight, but then they fall off and they binge on carbs and then gain all the weight. And that's just a really unhealthy cycle to fall into. I'm going to give some advice for people that are really drawn to that low carb approach, but also are just unable to do keto. I personally fall into that category. I'm very fascinated by the keto diet and the low carb diets, but with the way my body is set up, it's not something that I have the discipline to sustain. But there are ways to manage these things, and I'll give you some specific advice, numbers, details in just a moment, right after I talk about mistake number 3. Mistake number 3 is doing exercises that do not fit their goal. If there's one thing I want every Cocoa Puff to understand is that different exercises are suitable for different goals. Most people are just trying to be healthy, trying to be able to play with their kids without being out of breath, trying to be able to run up the stairs without feeling like they're gonna die. That's what most of us want. And a little bit of curves won't hurt. A little bit of a flat stomach doesn't hurt. For these types of goals, most people have no business doing things like dynamic split squats or explosive jump squat or military style push-up. I have a whole video on this topic. So if you haven't seen my 5 worst mistakes to avoid for women, check out that video. I go into a lot of details talking about some exercises that are really popular, but just aren't meant for regular folk like me and your friends. Since I already have a whole video on this topic, I'm not going to dwell on it too much in this video, but it's a huge mistake to not know which exercises are suitable for your It's a big mistake for your friend not to know which exercises are suitable for their specific goal. So the exercises that an endurance athlete will do are very different from the exercises that a mom that's just trying to be in shape, healthy, and confident and active will do. Not saying that a mom can't also be an endurance athlete, but you get what I'm trying to say. Mistake number 4, not foam rolling, not stretching. I'm going to keep saying this at every single opportunity I get because I know personally for me, foam rolling and stretching is not something that's just a nice to have. It's an essential, like breathing air. Is it really that extreme? Yes, it is that extreme. It's that essential. It's that foundational. They are an essential part of a healthy lifestyle and a solid fitness routine. In addition to the stretching you will do if you're a premium member on KobokoFitness.com, I recommend doing additional stretches whenever you get the chance. I usually recommend stretching for about 10 minutes before bed. I will share with you one of my most foundational stretches that everybody should know about and almost anybody can do. And then foam rolling is also very important, especially for people doing a lot of resistance exercises to prevent soreness. I have discussed the issue of soreness and exercise in a previous video and addressed the issue of whether it is necessary to be sore in order to have a good workout. So definitely check out that video. Finally, mistake number 5 is your friend allowing their activity level to drop just because they can't go outside. I'm gonna share with you my secret weapon that has really helped me to maintain a certain level of physical activity and also to maintain my mental health, because I'm that person that really loves to go outside. Nothing brings me joy like going outside and just seeing the sunshine and nice water and grass and rabbits. It makes me so excited. So 2020 was very hard on me in that regard, but I found a way. And I will share my way with you in just a moment. Let's talk about the solution. Okay, so mistake number 1 was doing all Zoom meetings and all classes sitting down. Here's what you need to tell your friend, okay? Instead of sitting down for all these meetings, there are 2 exercises I definitely recommend. The first one is a boxer shuffle. Boxer shuffles are really good because they help you get a little bit of activity going, help to get the heart going, help with that weight maintenance goal, that health goal that a lot of us have. But it's not noisy. It's not something that you're going to be doing and people are going to know that that's what you're doing unless it's your turn to talk and then you're out of breath. So that's one exercise that's really good to do in any meeting where it could have been a memo. It didn't have to be a meeting. Those kinds of meetings where there's not a lot of talking that your friend personally needs to do. Those are the kinds of meetings where doing a boxer shuffle would be perfect, or even the kind of class where doing a boxer shuffle would be perfect. Another exercise that's really good, so this is one that it's not going to have you out of breath, but it's so good, and that is the flying of the arms. This one can even be done sitting down. All you have to do is just extend your arms parallel to the floor like that and just hold. That's all you have to do. If you want to be super fancy, you can hold some really light weights in your hand. But I personally find I don't even need to hold any weights. Just keeping my hands like this for a couple of seconds, maybe a minute, it starts to burn. And it's really good for the arms, the shoulders, getting those arms looking good for summer. So I definitely recommend those 2 exercises. They help. Everything adds up. Mistake number 2 was jumping on the keto diet as an emergency. Like, oh my God, I gained 50 pounds. I need to lose it real fast. If you have trigger warning, if you have a difficult relationship with food, if you are recovering from any kind of struggles with food, just skip a few seconds and just ignore this part. But if you generally have a healthy relationship with food and you're like me where you love carbs, I can eat rice for the rest of my life and I will not feel like I'm being punished. Okay. I love rice. Oh, I love rice. Did I say I love rice? I totally lost my train of thought immediately I started talking about rice. Isn't that love? When you start talking about something and you just forget everything else, that's me and rice. I love rice. So if you're like me, where you love carbs, but you're also drawn to that low carb diet because you see how it's working for everybody else, and you too, you want to be healthy, you want to be snatched, you want to try it out. My advice to your friend is that they shouldn't play themselves because they already know it's not for them. That's just not how they're built, and that's okay. So a really good shortcut that I have found to be quite effective without being a drastic change in a person's way of eating is instead of cutting down carbs to 0 or 50 grams, like most keto diets will recommend, how about cutting carbs down to 150 grams? You will be shocked by how difficult it is to cut carbs down to 150 grams per day. And eating 150 grams of carbs per day is actually generally a nice, safe place to be if the goal is fat loss. So it's definitely not keto at all, but it's much lower carbs than carboholics like myself would normally eat. Another alternative is to aim for a macronutrient ratio of 40-30-30. So that is 40% of your calories for the day would come from carbs, 30% from protein, and 30% from fat. For people that are not familiar with the calorie content or carb content of various foods, then there's a little bit of tracking that has to happen, a little bit of weighing and measuring that most people just don't like. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Mistake number 3 was doing exercises like jump squats, dynamic split squats, and all these crazy exercises when your goal is just to be healthy and be able to run up the stairs and play with your kids without being tired and exhausted. So not all exercises belong in your life. Just like not all men belong in your life. You feel me? Am I preaching or am I preaching? Mistake number 4 was not foam rolling, not stretching. I promised to share a foundational stretch that almost anyone can do, and that stretch is the heel press. The heel press is fantastic because it's going to stretch out the back of the leg, which gets no love. That heel press is clutch. It is so good because it's just so efficient. So efficient and so good. Definitely recommend doing the heel press. If you're foam rolling and you have time to only foam roll one thing, I recommend foam rolling the part of your body that you know is typically the tightest. So for me, that's usually my back and my shoulder area. When foam rolling the back and the shoulders, it's super important to not foam roll the actual spine. So it's just kind of like that crevice in my shoulder, I think is from like hunching over my computer for a long time. If you tend to have lower back pain, foam rolling your booty is a good idea. Loosen up. What was this? Mistake number 5 is not moving at all because we can't really go outside freely like we want to. This next tip has been such a lifesaver for me, and that is to pace around whatever room I find myself, especially if it has a window. I open up my window and I just start pacing around. And side note, I am also a huge fan of audio journaling, so it's not uncommon for me to just be pacing around with my headphones on, journaling my thoughts. I don't know how to explain to you how magical this experience is. I can only say just try it. And the real hack here is I pace for 5 minutes for every 1 hour I use my computer. So if I've been sitting at my computer for an hour working on something, I will take a break after an hour, get up and pace for 5 minutes. It doesn't sound like a lot of activity. It doesn't sound like a lot of movement. But if I'm working for 3 hours, that's 3 different 5-minute time slots that I have gotten up off of my chair, paced around, relaxed my mind, and gotten some physical activity in. In 3 hours of work time, I managed to squeeze in 15 minutes of physical activity. Not a lot, but it's better than nothing. So I highly recommend trying this, especially if you're in a room that has a window. Just open up the windows, walk around, journal, get some physical activity. Where's my record deal? By now I should be a musician because y'all know that that's my real passion. I'm just pretending to be a personal trainer. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm totally joking. Avoid these 5 fitness mistakes in 2021 and they will add to your overall efforts to be healthier, happier, more confident you that nobody is messing around with. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Check out KobokoFitness.com. Start your 10-day free trial and see if my programs are right for you. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Share this video and I'll see you in my next video. Visit KobokoFitness.com. Today, I've been listening to this song. Santa baby, just put a sable under the tree for me. Been a really good girl, Santa honey, so hold it down the chimney tonight.